You just got to do it. You just kind of got to bite the bullet and get out and do it. And I think you'll really surprise yourself and kind of get the bug and get addicted and get going. I mean, my husband is playing golf this morning, and I am so jealous and so envious.
I'm sorry you had to do this podcast and not get to
Yeah.
play golf.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast. Robbie and Jonathan here with our new friend Taylor. We will introduce her more formally here in a second. If you haven't listened to this podcast before or any of our other ones, Caddy Tales, Pictures on the Scorecard, go in and like them. Follow them, subscribe, give it a review, whatever people say to do. That helps us grow these things and help tell stories like we're going to hear and share today. So we would really appreciate that. We've got a couple companies that partner with us that are friends of the program. The first being Holderness and Bourne. If you go into any golf pro shop, you will see some really nice clothes with the Holderness and Bourne logo all over them. They do great things. We're big fans. One of the cool things I like is the collars with the hidden stays, because the golf collar didn't go flying everywhere. But it's, Taylor's in Denver, so it's probably hoodie season quicker there than it is here. But, I've got a great hoodie from them. So all their stuff's really good. Check out hbgolf.com. All their fall stuff is coming out. So another partner, friend of the program, Western Birch. Again, we talk about golf tees all the time, how you can customize these things, put logos on them, design them with any colors, signature stripe patterns that they have. Something that DF Modern that might have already done, but their logo would look really good on some Western Birch golf tees. But yeah, check out westernbirch.com. Again, use the promo code BESTBALL in the shipping cart for a free gift. So let's get to Taylor Olson. Taylor she's the founder of Draw and Fade Modern. It's a fashion-forward, functional clothing for women's golfers. So Taylor, welcome to the Whole Story Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm assuming you're pretty good at golf, because my version of draw and fade would probably be like slice and shank.
Yeah, I know. I keep saying for April Fool's one day we need to come out with hook and slice hats.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That's not April Fool's. That's stuff that people would buy. Like they
That's
can
real life.
own that. Yeah. So let's talk about your golf story, because obviously you don't just one day decide you're going to make golf clothing without it being something that you're on hole number 9 thinking, why am I wearing this right now?
Yeah, I grew up basically from the moment I could stand. I had a golf club in my hand, thanks to my
Wow.
dad. My dad actually went through Q school, so my entire family plays golf. My sister worked at the tour right out of college. I worked on the marketing side for Ryder Cup and East Lake Cup, and golf was actually the first date that I had with my husband. So golf runs very thick in the Olsen blood, and it's just something that I love and really have fond memories playing with my whole family, with my dad. We've made many trips out of golfing. So it's something that I really, really love and enjoy, and can, really see firsthand how difficult it is to be a female playing the game. And so when I started Draw and Fade, I really wanted to address a lot of the issues that I experienced growing up playing the game, and just hoped that I could make it just a little bit more approachable or a little less intimidating for other females that were going out to play the game as well.
So did the issues in the women's game that you were trying to adjust, did that come first, or the thoughts of the clothing side come first?
I think, when I started to think about the company, and I really just kind of looked at holistically why was I experiencing intimidation on the golf course? I'm a good golfer. I can hold my own. But every time I get out on the range, why do I feel so scared and so nervous? I feel like I have to be perfect on the range. If I duff a ball, like everyone I feel like is rolling their eyes and saying, man, I hope she's not in front of me. And I just wanted to really take a step back and say, why am I feeling like this? And I think there were a lot of different factors that went into it. And, part of it is gender specific team signage. So a lot of courses still have, women's tees or men's tees. And a lot of starters actually still say, oh, women's tees are up there. I think it's just common practice, unfortunately. But, the idea for me is it kind of pigeonholes women, and it puts you in kind of a box on the golf course, whereas we feel that you should have access to the entirety of the course the same as men do. And so that was one thing. The other thing, which is in kind of a similar vein, is on the Gen app, a lot of courses actually limit what tee boxes women can post from. So a lot of times courses will limit to the 2 or 3 most forward tee boxes for women. So I play around 6,000 to 6,500 on a course. So a lot of times that's the blue tees or the kind of the third most back tees, and I can't actually post a lot of times from where I play. It's just unknown to a lot of people. And so we're just trying to bring kind of awareness to that and get more courses to open it up. It's a bit of a painstaking process on their end, but just like I said, trying to get awareness to it. And it goes back to the first point in this: women should have access to the entirety of the course. Men have a lot of access to every tee box when it comes to posting their score on Gen. So we feel that women should have the equal opportunity as well. And thirdly, it was just, looking around on a golf course, and you are more than likely one of the only females out there. And it's just really hard to walk up to anywhere and be the only person that looks like you there. So, just trying to get more of a community driven around golf and just getting more women comfortable being on and around the golf course and playing the game. So really trying to create a community, whether it's through collaborations with like-minded individuals or brands, or having events ourselves, and really just trying to get more women out on the course and playing with men too. It's really important for us that we actually do have events where men and women are playing together, so that you can be totally comfortable being out there on the course playing, and everyone sees that, women actually aren't holding up the course as kind of common practice or common thought is. They're playing way fast, really quick golf. So, again, just trying to get people more comfortable being out on the course together and enjoying it like it is the great game that it is. And then last was, excuse me, last was just the lack of functional and kind of fashion forward clothing options. So I think a lot of times when you walk into pro shops specifically, 90% of it, maybe even 95% of it is men's clothing. And then you kind of have this really small corner of women's clothing over in like a dark, dingy corner. And it's, fluorescent pink or black. And those are really kind of the only options. And then when you actually put the clothes on, it's super tight and the pockets aren't deep at all. If you put a ball in your pocket and you sit in the cart, like more than likely you're going to lose your ball because it pops out so tight. So I just always felt like I wasn't supposed to be on the golf course because these clothes didn't make me feel like I belonged there. So we really wanted to create something that was super functional, first and foremost for women, and fashion forward. So, we don't really carry any pink in a lot of what we do. I think a lot of people do a better job at it, and it's just not in our nature to do that. And we really just try and give women kind of unique options that you might not see elsewhere. So we take a lot of inspiration from plaids, and just kind of unique patterns. So we play on that a lot. And like I said, just give women options that they might not necessarily have in kind of more natural colors that represent the course. I say I draw a lot of inspiration from colors that you actually see on the course. So a lot of greens, a lot of creams, a lot of tans and kind of blues. So it really just feels natural when you're out there on the course. And then again, it's super functional. I'm going into every design meeting, well, if you're doing this during a swing, you need to not have this. So it again is just very functional. And the hopes is that it just empowers women and that you feel good. That saying of you look good, feel good, and play good. We hope that we can epitomize that and really hope that more women are out on the course.
Well, if you can fix pockets in women's clothing, you're going to be the savior for everyone. Because I don't understand it. My wife gets these pants. I'm like, why don't you carry this? She's like, I don't have pockets. I can carry it. My daughter's same way. And that's not just in golf. That's just everywhere. And you're like, who's stupid enough to make these pockets that don't fit anything? Like, come on.
Women only put tees in their hair, in their ponytails. There's no room in your pockets. It hurts.
Right. Well, and you talk about functionality. That's one of the things I noticed whenever you had on your skirts. I mean, I don't wear skirts very often, but I noticed that you had a place to put your phone, and then also had little tags there so that you could also put your tees, like just small things like that. take a step back though, because I'm not good enough to have a handicap other than me playing golf. So talk about the app and sort of the change in terms of, and I think this is coming where all tees are now appropriate for anyone. I don't know if you've seen, Robbie and I have gone out just for fun to say, okay, are we better if we just play from the reds? Or I was at a tournament, not a tournament, just like an invite thing, and there was two older guys, and they're like, "What do you normally play?" I'm like, "I'll just play from golds. Like, it's not that big of a deal. We'll play from wherever you play."
Yeah.
And I was talking to a woman the other day when you think about getting access to the course. I was at a course. She's behind the desk. She's just trying to learn, and she let me play ahead of her a couple months ago. I said, if you're not very good, just go to the 100-yard marker and start playing golf there. And she's like, I don't know if I can do that. I'm like, why not? Like, what rule is there that says if you have to start, 300 yards away from something if you literally can only hit a ball 100 yards?
Yeah.
So talk about the app, the recording of your score, and where that goes, because I didn't know that at all, and that doesn't make any sense at all to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that personally I grew up with. I was super annoyed with, to be honest with you. My
Right.
home course growing up, on one of the courses, it started with the signs, the T signs, and I would kind of flip off a sign that said men's tees this way as I walked past it, and probably outdrove my dad, not to throw him under the bus. But it always just annoyed me. It just um, really frustrated me. Like, why is this men's tees? You don't have to be a man to play from this tee box. And then once I started getting older and started recording my score in the Gen app, and I was just super frustrated that you have to change your gender to be male to post your score. Um, and it just blew my mind. And I think it just deters a lot of women. Like, granted, yes, not a lot of women are playing back, but not a lot of men are probably playing back either. So who knows, actually the statistics of how often men are posting from the furthest back tees and all of that. But it all goes back to just making the course open to women and men equally. And I think that'll allow more women to feel comfortable on the course. It all goes back to how can we get rid of the intimidation factor that a lot of women specifically experience on the course. And to me, I always experienced those things, and they were frustrating to me, and it kind of deterred me from playing, to be honest with you. So that was just a big thing for me that, we just want to educate a lot of people, because a lot of people don't know about it. Even in the pro shops that I'll go into, I'll say, hey, do you guys have the ratings for this tee box for women? And they don't. So it actually requires the USGA coming out to the course when they're doing the rating and actually rating it all tees for all genders. So it is a bit of an exercise on their behalf. So again, it just takes some awareness and just a lot of following up to make sure that people are actually going through with it. We're trying to work with the USGA on it and just, like I said, bring more awareness to it and kind of talk to each pro shop that we go into and experience the issues with, just so more people are aware of it.
Are there other groups besides you guys? I know you mentioned the USGA is helping, but it seems like if you're having to go course by course to do this thing, it's going to take a while to
Yeah.
kind of really get the change. And I was wondering, like, we're recording this on September 19th. We just came off an incredible Solheim Cup. Does the rise and hopefully growing popularity of professional women's golf help with some of this that gets down into the amateur ranks?
I would hope so. I mean, since COVID, we've seen a huge boom in golf, and a lot of that is predominantly driven by women. So I really hope that the industry as a whole is kind of shifting more towards that kind of equal playing factor between men and women. I think the reality is anytime I talk to a pro in these shops, it's all men, and it unfortunately just takes a lot of education. And like I said, not a lot of people are actually going to be using this. So kind of what's the point? I think is the mentality, unfortunately. So it's just awareness and drive, hopefully. And yeah, I mean, when we first launched the company, this is our backbone. This is who we are. We're mission first, kind of clothing second. And so it really is a big priority for us to kind of get this change happening and moving forward. And it was kind of cold calling each and every course. And that kind of turned into, okay, can we actually work with the AGAs, the associations for, each state or kind of region. And it just turns out that the courses individually are the ones that manage it. So I think the more that we can kind of broadcast it and talk about it, and the more awareness that we can bring to it, kind of the better it will be.
Well, it sounds like your mission and your clothing go hand in hand, though. So talk about, because you talk about accessibility, comfortableness, things like that. So talk about how does that transition to a clothing company that also ushers women into the sport in a more, I guess, appropriate or more comfortable manner.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what I was saying. And when I was looking at all of the issues, quote unquote, that I experienced when I was playing the game, and a big part of that is clothing. I think up until maybe about 5 years ago, if you were to ask a woman where they get their golf clothes, I think a lot of them might have laughed at you because there's not options for women. There are now, and fortunately, there are a lot more functionality. But the kind of big stores that you would normally get golf clothes from, quote unquote, it just felt like you were meant to be a spectator as opposed to
Mm.
be a player. And that was the biggest issue that I had. If we're making these clothes, the whole idea is to empower you to be on the course, to again make you feel like you belong there and you shouldn't be intimidated. So a big part of that is the functionality for me. And we have shifted. When we launched, we came out with a full clothing line. We had pants, we had skirts, we had everything. And we really just wanted to see kind of what stuck. And for us, it was our knitwear and our sweaters. And so we really have driven with that over the last year and kind of shifted to now being predominantly knitwear focused. And I actually love that because as we see women's golf clothing growing, there are a lot more options for bottoms and tops, but there's not a lot of options for layering pieces. And when I walk into pro shops, a lot of times you see the quarter zips for men or the jackets or the vests and all of these things. And there's not that option for women. Excuse me. And so we really wanted to focus on that and kind of be the driver or the owner of knitwear or sweaters for women for golf. So just having kind of that layering piece that makes you feel just a little bit more elevated and a little bit more sophisticated. I think for the first time in my life, honestly, I was wearing one of our pieces during the summertime. I was like, I like feel really good. I feel really elevated in what I'm wearing, but it's appropriate for the golf course. I just feel like really put together. And I think that's what a lot of men experience. They wear a lot of golf clothes or golf outfits to the office. I don't think you would ever see a woman wear golf clothes to the office.
No, no pink
Yeah,
sleeveless
yeah,
with some sort of skirt.
yeah. I mean, but I finally felt like, okay, I feel like just really elevated and really sophisticated. And I think that, we spend a lot of time sourcing appropriate fabrics and yarns for summer versus winter time. And I think that just goes hand in hand with it. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. And the response that we've had from people has been really great. And we've, expanded our icon collection, which is just showcasing women in golf, which kind of again goes back to our mission and how can we make people feel more included on the golf course and less intimidated. And so a lot of times when you think about golf iconography, it's either a plant or an animal or a man or a boy. I think Pinehurst, but you hardly ever, if ever, see a woman in a golf kind of space. And so we really wanted to create that to show women that again you do belong here, and you have kind of this figure that you can look at and wear. It's now on every our walking girls, what we call it, kind of our main icon is on the back of each piece that we make. So you kind of feel, even if you're the only girl there, if you're only a woman there, you still have someone kind of with you, and you can, feel a little bit better and maybe not so intimidated.
That's awesome. Well, I was going to mention that swing sequence sweatshirt that you guys have. I think that is one of the coolest logos. And I'm trying to figure out if I can pull it off. But no, I think it's really cool. And not just that one, but all the designs and things you're doing with the walking girl and all the other things that y'all are doing. Like, I think it stands out. We had Jared Dorfler on. He does the perfect putt. Talking business and golf, and he just mentioned like there needs to be more options for women, and there's this in the business side. There's space for it to grow because I think women want it. So I think what you guys are doing is not only well, it's satisfying a need and a desire for ladies in the game. So I think it's great.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, you talk about men wearing golf clothing to the office. That is the trend in general in golf, right? How can I go to work, go play golf, go out to dinner with my family, and not have to change three different times?
Yeah.
And your clothing optimizes that for women too, right? You don't have to feel like at the end of it all, I got to go home and change before I go out to brunch with my friends at noon.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a big kind of selling point as we get in more to wholesale. It's a big kind of on the course and off the course is kind of the lingo.
Right.
But it really is true. I mean, this is one of our sweaters from our new collection, and it feels really good to me. I mean, I'm a mom of two very young babies, um, and I every day my outfit is workout pants and probably a front piece sweatshirt. And so as soon as I throw on kind of a sweater, it just makes me feel a little bit more elevated and you feel good. So yeah, I mean, totally, you can wear it wherever and feel completely comfortable. And going back to the functionality of it, I think a lot of pieces, as you see more elevated kind of knitwear, a lot of times it's dry clean only. And I mean, who has time for dry cleaning? I haven't
I
done
was
dry
hoping you were going to
cleaning.
say that.
Yeah, I haven't done
Like,
dry cleaning in over a year because in Austin, like we had someone that came and picked it up, and I just don't have time to like find if that's a service here in our new area. But yeah, so everything is machine washable. You can throw it in the dryer, it won't shrink. And I think that is a part of the whole picture for clothing, especially for women, is just ease and function. And a lot of women just don't have time to bother with that. So yeah, it's a
no.
really important factor for us.
So how do y'all grow? How do you get the word out? Are you calling on like golf teams? I mentioned my daughter's on a high school golf team. Are you like reaching out to golf teams or college golf teams or professionals, and how are you trying to grow the brand?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see a lot of growth starting now into the next year. We're expanding into a major outdoor retailer this fall, and we're going to be in a lot more golf shops in kind of now, starting now. And really, I think that's a great way to grow. It's just more people see it, and it kind of goes back to our mission. If we can get more kind of clothing options in pro shops for women, that's great. It's a great step forward. A lot of the pro shops that we're into don't even have women's options currently, which is just mind-boggling to say in 2024. Um, so yeah, even that is just a step in the right direction for us. And I think, people will start to see it and kind of recognize that walking girl icon and kind of be like, what's that? So yeah, that's just growth for us and slow. We don't want to kind of grow too quickly. So we're trying to protect it and just grow and make sure that we can maintain the level of customer service that we have currently and just the level of product and everything that we have. And also the price points that we have. It's a really important for me that we maintain kind of approachable pricing. I think golf is expensive already, and you shouldn't have to shell out a fortune to outfit yourself. So we really try and maintain prices under $100 if we can. And so that's really important for us to keep as well.
You mentioned in your family that golf is a big deal. So, what would you say to women though that like because it sounds like it's equal apart, right? You were out driving your dad at some point, and at no point in time were you just seen as the girl that was sort of tagging along. It sounds like, right?
Yeah,
And your husband obviously took that seriously. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be together, and your first
yeah.
date probably would have been on a golf course. So, what do you say to women that are just trying to get into the game, and they do feel either the intimidation factor or the less than factor whenever
Yeah,
they're out there?
I think there's so many great programs for women now to get introduced to the game, whether it's through a local municipal course or whatever course you're playing at, or even programs like For the Ladies, or even brands. Like we host clinics or we host kind of
Mm-hmm.
tournaments in our local area for people. And I think just going out there and participating. I think a lot of women um, think that they have to be really fast and they have to be good to be out there on the course, but the reality is hardly anyone is actually good at golf.
No one's good.
No one is good at golf. I think,
No one's good at
what's the
golf.
average score? It's not breaking 100. Um,
96.
so yeah, I think once you realize that, you know, gosh, you do not have to be good at golf to be out there and
No.
enjoying it. Just get out there. I think that's what I always say. Just get out there. And I think the really important thing for me that we try and do in our tournaments or clinics is getting people on the course, because I think you can do so much at Top Golf or ranges or whatever, but you kind of feel protected there. And I think it's a scary thing to actually book a tee time and go out and play, especially if you're a single, like going out and playing, and you'll probably be paired with three other guys. That is scary as hell. So yeah, you just got to do it. You just kind of got to bite the bullet and get out and do it. And I think you'll really surprise yourself and kind of get the bug and get addicted and get going. I mean, my husband is playing golf this morning, and I am so jealous and so envious.
I'm sorry
Well,
you had to do this podcast and not get
yeah.
to play golf.
No, I have to
Well,
take care of the
listen,
two young babies.
if you're a woman out there and you're nervous about being paired up as a single with three other people, every other guy is as well. There's not a single person that goes out. You always try to pair up, and you always try to be like, golly, I hope I don't get stuck with someone. Because
Yeah.
it never, again, no one's good at golf. So, like, my golf shot could go 250 yards down the middle, or it could go 20 yards shank to the left. And that's my tee shot. So, like, the rest of the day, you're just apologizing for what golf looks like. So, if you're a woman and you're hearing this, do not let these guys convince you that they're good too. And
Yeah.
if they are good, most of the people that I played with that are good are also some of the nicest people, because they understand, like, hey, we're growing the game. People are getting into it. No big deal.
Yeah. And it's just so nice to spend time on the golf course. I mean,
Right.
I think the majority of the time your phone actually isn't connected to the internet. So you are forced to kind of interact with the people that you're with, or just focus on what you're doing. And how often do you have, 2 to 5 hours to do that? So it's really special. It kind of brings you back in time a little bit, which is something that I really appreciate.
Yeah, we always talk about it's not about how well you play, where you play. It's just about the people you get to spend time with. So
Mhm.
that's exactly right. So yeah, that's really cool. We always ask everybody, I guess shifting back to your game, we always ask everybody to tell us the story of your best golf shot or most memorable golf shot.
Oh, well, mine has to be. I have one hole in one. It was I was playing for my 21st birthday. I think it was my 21st or 22nd birthday. Um, and a friend of ours got us on Olympic Club. And I was playing with my dad and my mom. And I just finished a burger dog at the turn
Nice.
and just slam dunked it. And yeah, that's definitely the most memorable.
Oh, very
That's
nice.
a good memory,
That and the burger
too.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, we'll ask a question later about favorite snack on the course,
Yeah.
and if anybody has had the burger dog, that is the answer. So we might have already heard your answer on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
yeah, that, and then we're fortunate enough, a lot of times we do a Pebble Beach Father's Day kind of getaway. Well, this was pre everyone having kids, but the tater tots at Sawgrass that
ooh,
you can call on
We've
the
never heard
speaker. I
about
think it
that.
well, you get them before you play, but you can also call ahead. The tater tots and the burrito at Sawgrass are really good.
Oh, my gosh.
you're
I
talking
haven't,
Jonathan's love
yeah,
language here.
listen. My favorite, this all started because I
Sorry,
had talked.
Spyglass. Sorry, Spyglass. I'm mixing. We've been talking a lot about Sawgrass, so Spyglass.
Spyglass. This all started, my fascination with food, because I went on a trip to somewhere in Mexico. I can't remember where it was.
Cabo.
And I had tacos. They had taco stands at every like 3 or 4 holes.
Yeah.
So I think I had like 6 tacos on the day. I couldn't tell you what I shot, but I know I had 6 tacos. It was great.
It just tastes better on the golf course. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
Everything does.
Hey, golf friends. This is Robbie from Best Ball. Are you looking for the ultimate Myrtle Beach golf experience? Well, it's only a click away. Check out the 2-Play Special at 2 of America's most awarded public golf courses and 2 of my personal favorites. Caledonia Golf and Fish Club and True Blue Golf Club are low country masterpieces featuring 2 iconic Mike Strantz designs. Play these 2 incredible courses for one great price. Visit truebluegolf.com to learn more about the 2-Play Special and book your tee time today. That's truebluegolf.com.
All right. So we always like to do another thing we call a quick 9. So we're just going to go back and forth, a couple short answers, long answers. That's up to you. I'm excited about this one. What's the favorite course that you've played? Because it sounds like you've been at 1 or 2.
Oh man, Spyglass is my favorite course. I think a lot of people would say Pebble because it's so beautiful and so memorable, but Spyglass is so freaking hard. Um, and it just has really good memories for me with my family, and my husband now. And yeah, Spyglass for sure.
Nice.
Very nice. What course is at the top of your bucket list?
Um, Anywhere in Ireland. We did a family golf trip to Ireland many, many years ago, and I want to recreate it with my husband and my kids. So yeah, anywhere in Ireland.
I think it
Nice.
sounds like you have to wait a little bit before they're old enough for some tea, for some
Yes.
clubs, right?
Yes, we got we've got my son who's 2. He has the plastic set, and he everything is a golf ball to him now, so he'll just start swinging, which is great. We don't know if he's left-handed or right-handed, so we can't commit to getting full clubs yet. But sometimes he'll hit a golf ball. Sometimes he'll just like hit his sister. Yeah, we're still learning.
You got to check out Charlie Golf Company. I'm sure you've
Yeah.
seen them.
Yes.
Golf bags, clubs. Tyler Johnson's doing some incredible work.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Like I said, we don't know what handy is yet, so we can't commit to the clubs. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
What is your favorite club in the bag?
Oh, 8 iron.
8.
8 iron. I can just hit a really pure kind of 140 shot with an 8 iron. Anything I can do to be at 140 out, like I'll always take that.
Money.
Nice.
Was that what your hole in one was with?
Gosh, I think it was a 7 iron actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, who would be in your dream foursome?
This is so cliche. It'd just be my family. It'd be my dad, my husband, and probably my brother, my sister. My sister is so frustrating to play with because she never practices and is by far the best golfer in the family and has the easiest swing. And we're all just so pissed when she goes out there and plays and blows us out of the water. We're like, we practice all the time. Why are you so much better?
She's like is she a closet practicer? Like she's like trying and doing all this stuff and
Maybe.
yeah.
She, like I said, she worked for the tour. She's gotten some lessons from pretty well-known folks. So she's maybe got that in her back pocket. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's awesome.
Y'all sound like a pretty competitive family.
very, very competitive. Yeah, you can ask us, who holds the pancake eating record, and there'd be a huge debate.
I was going to
Nice.
say, no skins game whenever you go out and play with that family. Just keep your money in your pocket.
Oh, yeah.
What LPGA pro would you like to see wearing DNF modern gear?
Oh, I mean, any of them. I mean, for us, it's just any female in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyone and everyone.
Y'all should be the sponsor of the or the official apparel of the Solheim Cup next time.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, maybe.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Music on the course, and if so, what kind?
Country.
Country. I
Yes.
mean, if you were in Austin,
Is
right?
that your
So-
Austin roots?
Yeah, I went to college. I went to university in Dallas, Texas. Never listened to a lick of country music before then, and then as soon as I went there, I was obsessed with it. And I forced my husband to listen to country music on the golf course. But yeah,
What is well, we already talked about this maybe, but what's your favorite snack on the golf course? We got tater tots, we got a burger dog. What else
tater
we
dog,
got?
burger dogs. I mean, I love a good hot dog on the golf course. Yeah,
Yeah.
just hot dog and like so many raw onions. It's so disgusting, but yeah, just smother it with ketchup and raw onions, and I'm so happy.
I was going to ask if it was mustard or ketchup. You almost had
It's
me all the
ketchup.
way, but no ketchup. No, ketchup's terrible.
Yeah.
That and an 8 iron is a good day. All right. What's your favorite golf course logo?
Oh, wow. Favorite golf course logo. I'm only picturing Lido right now, one of the Sand Valley courses, only because I've worked with the Swing Sequence sweatshirt. Very hard to say back to back. Olivia Herrick she designed the Lido logo, and she actually designed the Swing Sequence sweatshirt for us as well. So I think that.
Yeah, she's she does stuff with Dream Resorts, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah, and an amazing golfer in her own. She's
Okay.
yeah, she plays in the U.S. Women's Am every year and competes.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
Very
so
nice.
better than your sister.
yeah, yeah, maybe.
You kind of alluded to this maybe earlier, but what's next for Draw and Fade Modern?
I mean, we're just continuing to hone in on our knitwear. I think knitwear in itself is a scary word in the kind of spring, summertime in the South, where you guys kind of know. So just kind of educating people, I think, on, the fabrics and the yarns that we're using, and just kind of continuing to grow and expand the line. There's, been a lot of, well, there's a lot of the sweaters have been really well received, and so just expanding on that, expanding colorways, kind of introducing more plaid and kind of more quote unquote masculine options, and just giving, like I said, more unique options to women, and just growing. I'm really excited to see how our product does this fall in that kind of major retailer in the central region of the U.S. And as we expand to pro shops around the U.S., we've just recently partnered with an agency that's helping us expand there, and super excited to see kind of the growth and the progress that they've been able to make in the last 4 weeks. So excited to kind of continue to grow and expand the message and show the message.
That's awesome. Well, Taylor, we think what you guys are doing for the women's game is super important. You are an impressive person. The DF Modern brand is really cool. We like it, especially Jonathan has daughters. I've got a daughter that plays golf. I need to get her some stuff. But yeah, we think what you're doing is really cool, and we appreciate you taking the time, even though you're still fighting a little cold, to come join us on the Whole Story podcast.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, everybody needs to go check out at DF Modern on Instagram, and then visit dfmodern.com. Go grab some stuff. Again, it's high quality. It looks really good. And it's fashion forward and functional for the ladies on the golf course. But also check out all the different initiatives that they're doing. And yeah, just support the women's game. So for Taylor and Jonathan, this is Robbie. Y'all been listening to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast.